It's the year of the nerd, Dom.
When isn't it, bro?
It's going to be forever. Ladies and gentlemen, two Detroit nerds. We're back at it once again. We got a new week. We got another podcast. We got more content for y'all. Dom, we got a special guest in the studio.
We do have a special guest.
We got Noah Huffman. What's going on, Noah?
Hey, what's going on? I forgot you got to hold the mic up.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
And the other thing we should probably say is that these mics were actually meant to be put on stands.
Yeah.
So the fact that like when you're holding them, because they're not, really that meant for someone to hold it.
Yeah.
They're gonna make a weird noise.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's just that the people listening, they may hate you if you move your shit around too much.
It's like two birds, one stone. We're doing like free ASMR stuff too.
Literally.
Come on.
People love this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get it. So, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is cool.
Of course.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And, it's crazy. This is our first DJ that's ever come on our show.
It is. All you other DJs we try to get on here, Noah's number one now. You guys are bottom of the list.
And it's funny, too, because, we talk about anime, we talk about music, we talk about video games, and we've ran into so many people in the sort of art and music scene in Detroit that you would think would be like perfect guests for this show because they talk about anime or they talk to us about anime.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you ask them to come on the show and it's like, oh, well, first I got to fly to Japan.
Yep.
Then I got to get on a flight to Antarctica.
Got to end world hunger, come back to you guys. I got you on a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, why is this so hard? But
just don't respond next time, you guys. we appreciate and respect that so much more than I got y'all.
Seriously. But anyways, Noah, thank you. And if you want to, just right at the top of the show, if you have anything to plug, any dates, any performances coming up.
I do have one performance coming up on Saturday, April 3rd. What's today?
Today is the 11th. Yes.
Yeah, 13th. 13th. 4 to 7. We're actually doing the grand opening of the deck at Atwater Brewery in Detroit.
Nice.
True.
Nice.
Yeah, so my one group, Soul Tribe, we're going to be opening up that deck and then partying.
Hell yeah, that sounds hype, bro.
Sick. So Noah, you've been in the Detroit DJ scene now for how long?
Honestly, it's really only been like a year.
Really?
What made you being in the scene?
Yeah, what made you decide to jump in?
Is when I moved back from Florida.
Right.
It was, that was the only place for music, really. So
Yeah.
had to find some way in.
Of course. So kind of talk to me a little bit about your background, how you got into DJing, what inspired you when you were younger. Just a little bit about Noah, and we'll kind of pick it apart as we go.
So I got like a background of music. I used to do piano and stuff as a kid.
The hope.
And then my dad was actually a sound engineer, so I picked up a lot of stuff from him too.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sound engineer for what industry?
Rock and roll.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he did like live performances. He toured, did everything.
Wow.
Can't get better than that.
That's a very tough job too.
Oh yeah, I think when I was born is when he gave it up.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So he decided to get out of it. I see.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He was still doing live stuff, but it's like smaller scale.
Yes, absolutely. That makes sense.
True. So I guess I'm curious then, like when you got into music, when you had a musical background, you didn't start with DJing, right? Like DJing kind of comes a little bit later. So I'm curious what got you into that actual type of performance.
That was actually kind of funny. So it was actually in high school. I was like 15, and I was dating this girl. Her older sister was dating a DJ.
True.
We were all hanging out one day, and he was just like, "Hey, I have my controller here. You want to mess around?" And then here we are today.
That's all it took.
Okay. What was it about being able to DJ that made you want to keep doing it? Like what is it about the actual action of being a DJ that you like?
It's like the creativity and like seeing how people react.
Of course.
Really.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of fun. You like standing out there, especially because I just played Temple Bar. Like we have a glass panel like in front.
Okay.
It's cool just like seeing people's reactions.
Right. So, kind of talk to me about some of the genres that you started listening to or were, big in your musical development.
So, I started because when I started really listening to music and stuff, that was when I think EDM was probably
Skrillex, Dirty Monsters, Nice Sprites.
Yeah, probably in its getting to its peak.
Yeah.
Right.
Back in that
remember that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2014 to what? 20
Mad Decent's Block Party, Excision.
Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere without hearing EDM at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah.
Electro, Trillectro, Dylan Francis.
Yep. Steve Aoki had his big stuff back then too.
Wait a second. Wait. Are you?
Say it.
Is this? Is
Say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have Steve Aoki on the podcast? No, I'm
Wait,
fucking.
where? Really? Oh shit.
How annoying is it when you get that? When people are like,
You know what? It's actually not annoying.
yeah?
I think it's actually really funny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
good,
a lot.
good.
Could work for you.
Yeah, I get actually a good chunk of people remembering me for my hair.
Of course.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
must
That's
help
like the
with the
main
marketing.
giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funny enough, there is a video of me. I think I got it on my phone somewhere. I was dancing with a cake inside Speaker Box in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Hey, that's
Yeah,
him."
my buddy went
How the fuck did we
outside.
miss him?
He went out to the deck and was like, "Yo, Steve Aoki's at Speaker Box."
That's fucking awesome.
So-
That's one of those times where you kind of got to take the
Yeah,
stereotype
yeah.
and
Yeah,
run with it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Hell yeah, you guys want some autographs? You want some of this? Because you never know, man. Once that video finally pans out,
Yep.
you don't know how far that's gonna go. People thinking you're actually Steve Aoki, and then you're like, "Nah, it's me, Noah."
Right? Yeah, I know. We were tagging Steve Aoki in the video and everything. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
That's sick. So you were big into EDM when it got big, and I guess, I'm sure because at that time that was what I thought an electronic artist did, was make EDM and EDM only. When I was 15 to 18, I just thought that, I knew that there was other genres, but I thought, anybody that wanted to do this as a job, this would be the type of music that they
Right.
played. I didn't know that there were other genres that had just as big of fan bases, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I guess for you, what was the first electronic music community that kind of embraced you? Was it here in Detroit or was it somewhere else?
It was probably around Detroit. It was this area.
Yeah.
Because I think the first things that I really started going to were Mad Decent.
Okay.
I remember seeing Marshmallow at Russell Industrial Center, and all the rain started pouring down.
That was probably wild.
That was
That
cool.
must have been crazy.
Yeah, I threw those shoes away for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was fun.
I'm just thinking about all the people in the crowd off Molly and
Right.
acid. Just rain starts hitting. They're like, "What is this?"
Hey, it
Probably
was a
made the
great
show of their
time.
lives. Yeah,
It was a
100%,
great time.
bro.
Yeah, no,
I've
Mad
heard
Decent,
wild stories.
Yeah, Mad Decent was definitely the apex, the pinnacle of my concert going days. I definitely appreciate people that love concerts, and I think that that's something that I'm sort of envious of. I wish at this age I could still have the energy to go for a 3-day concert somewhere, a 3-day
Yeah.
festival somewhere. I'm just not. But there was a time, from the time I was probably about 16 to the time I was about 21, where electronic music and hardcore, like metal,
Yes.
types of festivals and concerts, I was at every single
Really?
one of them. Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
In the Maryland, and this is why when people talk about festivals or music or DJ sets or this or that, I'm just like,
Y'all don't know.
Yeah, you guys don't know. I'm sorry. It's
I know.
I'm sure you do.
Only from one.
What, from the Rolling
Loud.
Loud? Rolling Loud is one of
Oh.
those. Yeah, if
It-
you go
it
to
was
Rolling
legendary.
Loud, yeah, that's one of those where you don't really need to go too many others.
I've only been to that one, and there's been multiple years where I was like, "Damn," you see the lineup. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back." And then a month before the date, I'm like, "You know what? I did that. I did that already. I'm good." But
Yeah,
again, the reason being, we won't get all those same artists on that panel again. Some of the artists are
Yeah.
now deceased, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was some
Yeah.
of their last performances, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what made it that much better. Knowing that during the time, nobody knew that's what was going to happen. But afterwards, it really just just connected with me. I was like, damn, bro, that was one of their last performances.
Right.
And look where it was. It
Right.
was some of their hometowns. So
Yeah.
what a way to go out.
No, Rolling Loud, the year you went was probably the most prolific year.
It was the best
to have
year
gone,
for
'cause
sure.
Triple XXX Tentacion was,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That was Rolling Loud.
That was it.
Like
Yeah,
that will be the year that they use to advertise
Yeah.
Rolling Loud forever.
100%. I mean, Lil Uzi climbed the equipment, like the banner. The banner was probably at least like 15 feet above the stage.
Yeah.
He climbed it and jumped into the crowd off. Like so many wild things happened in that 3-day span of just the concert. It was great.
Yeah, man, I'm jealous for that. But getting back to Mad Decent, that was one of the last ones I went to though.
Mm-hmm.
So the last year that Mad Decent was at Merriweather Post Pavilion in Maryland, there was like 2 deaths.
Okay.
There was like, sounds like it's not that much. Sorry.
Bless you.
It sounds like two doesn't sound like that many deaths, but in the community that like I was in, that was a huge like issue and tragedy. And they shut it down. They never they never allowed Mad Decent to play at that particular venue. I don't know if Mad Decent even lasted much longer after that. I don't
remember hearing it too long.
Yeah, but I do remember the last year that I went, I knew that this was going to be a problem. I saw a lot of bad stuff happening. A lot of people ODing, a lot of people needing EMTs and medical coming to them. I was like, they're not checking people's bags. I just saw two of my homeboys throw bags over the fences with just, felonies
full of
and
drugs.
Everything bad possibly you could find in the 100-mile radius in a bag, in their drawstring bag. So it was not a safe place.
No.
Yeah.
Now that you just brought that up, I'm thinking about the same thing. Like Rolling Loud, we were in Miami, South Miami at that, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're there as a kid who's never been in Florida, or at least never been in Miami, let me not say kid, I was in my 20s, still a kid, but not necessarily. You don't realize the danger that surrounds you, really, because the same exact things you just noted, that was happening there too. We seen kids hop in the fences, no tickets, no passes, bags were getting in, and I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, the artists that were there, they may not get on stage and say, hey, come shoot this bitch up, but a lot of their music provokes those actions.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, nothing happened. Not that I remember hearing about, at least.
I think Rolling Loud is so unique in the fact that even though it's in an area where you would normally have a lot of bad stuff available to you, the Miami police do not play. They just don't play.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I remember when we were leaving the venue, like they were every little corner, every single exit you could leave out of there, they were 10 cars deep, making everybody walk through lines. They had the whole street shut down where we were at. Like, and it was for at least like a good half a mile radius around the whole the venue. They were like, nah, get the fuck out of here, basically. Go home.
Yeah, they don't play. I had a buddy of mine who went to, I think it may have been the same Rolling Loud you were at, honestly.
2017.
Because we were still in college, so it may have been that one. They went to one and they had a girl with them who was, drunk or whatever, and was asking people for drugs on the street. Like they were walking, from maybe I think like one hotel to another, and they were on the beach, and she was like on the boardwalk, just going up to people, being like, "Hey, we're trying to party tonight," blah blah blah. One of the people that she did that to was an undercover and booked her right there, and they had to bail her out. They had to wait. They were supposed to leave on a certain day. They had to wait extra longer because they had to, wait for her to get released. Yeah, man.
Damn,
they
bro.
don't play.
That's just down bad. We did something like that actually, but it wasn't it wasn't drugs. Like, we were in Miami. We were all smoking at the time, and we knew we were going to be in Miami for 3 days, especially for Rolling Loud. It fits the narrative. We wanted weed. We wanted to smoke. Right. Luckily, I knew somebody that was real familiar with one of the areas we were in, and just kind of planned a couple things. They set it up for us, dude. One of the shadiest encounters in my life, still to this day. We literally took an Uber to this street that we were told to meet someone up at. Right? We pull up. And for those of you who've never been to Florida, let alone Miami, a lot of the streets are built like this. You'll have one street full of mansions, nice ass homes. The next block, straight traps.
Oh, yeah.
Like from just your eyesight, you can tell that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
So just our luck, that's the street we end up having to meet on. So we walk up. There's a girl in a BMW. I'm like, dude, this is super shady. We go up to her, give her the money. She gives us the weed. We didn't want to get back in an Uber because of how loud the weed was. We were nervous. We're out of our element. We're from Michigan. We're not from here. We don't want to get fucked around with.
Right.
So we walk back like 2 miles, blazing hot day, humid as fuck. As we're walking, there's a dude laying at a bus stop. Okay? Sleeping. in a nylon sleeping bag. It's like 98 degrees outside, okay? So you can imagine the sweat that would have built up in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, sounded like he was screaming for his life. I think that was my first time ever witnessing somebody on bath salts. The way that this guy was acting. Unless he was just, like, super fucked up from the night before. I would imagine he would have sweated all that out, though.
Right. No.
Dude was crazy.
Maybe that's what he was doing.
Maybe, but we were just super sketched out. We had all this weed on us. We're just like, dude, what's about to happen? Super long walk. Made it back, bro. The rest of the fucking days were on, bro. We got so high after that, bro. So high. We literally had like 2 ounces between 4 of us for 3 days, and we smoked probably at least 60% of that weed that first day we got it.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
It's always better when there's effort put into copping.
Oh yeah, bro. It just makes it that much better for you.
So Noah, let's talk about a little bit about how you kind of got some of your first gigs and what work went into getting those, because that's something I'm always curious about is how do DJs get gigs? Like there's probably a million DJs to pick, right? Like I run, let's say I run Temple Bar.
Yeah.
So, and I'm the booker, right? How does a booker decide DJ Hardin is coming up on this weekend? Like what would you do to get him to do that?
I think it also kind of depends on like where you're playing and like what you're playing too. Like for me, I started out with weddings.
Okay.
Like I started as a wedding DJ.
Yeah.
So it was really a lot of like top 40,
right,
like very commercial music,
right,
stuff that you're probably hearing on the radio, like old school stuff like that. And then beyond that, I think it was in college when I really started to like branch out. It's really just talking to people.
Yeah.
Like
knowing who knows who.
Yeah. Like I think the first couple of gigs that I actually got like in bars and stuff were in Kalamazoo.
Oh, okay.
And that was just because I started talking to the DJ.
Yeah.
Like the DJ at the club that you wanted to DJ at, you would go up to them and say, "Hey, I'm also a DJ. How do I get this spot?"
It's not even that. Like it's not even asking for it, or at least in my case, it wasn't. It wasn't that I was trying to get a gig out of it. It was more so I was just trying to really talk to the people who were involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Get a little bit of an understanding of how these things work. And they're like, here, we'll show you firsthand, bro.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's your spot.
Right.
That's what's up.
And it's kind of like finding some good people, too, because there are a lot of, like, shit talkers in the industry and everything.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, my first gigs for, like, the first maybe, like, 4 or 5 years were just weddings and then talking.
Right.
That's not bad.
And so I'm trying to understand, let's say you do get a gig, do you then add that gig to like a resume and then use that gig to get other gigs? Like let's say you get a gig in Kalamazoo, but then you want to start DJing in Detroit. Do you tell them, "Hey, I DJ'd at this and this place"?
Oh, well,
do you name drop? Like how do you know?
It kind of depends too, because a lot of it is a lot of networking, and you got to be careful about some things that you say.
Right.
Really, I kind of use my Instagram like that, like Instagram being like that type of resume.
Yes.
Right.
Perfect.
And it's having all that content and all the media and stuff. My biggest issue, I just don't have content.
Right.
Like I've got some stuff, but I just don't post it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not part of your process. I mean, you like to enjoy what you're doing with the people there to enjoy
exactly.
it. You know?
And that's perfectly fine too. I mean, I'm still making a way that myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining about the process at all.
No, hell no.
So I guess then it's more of having some sort of way of showcasing that like, yeah, you're a legitimate DJ, and then you just go and you network. You try to find people that have ins at clubs. You make relationships with them, and then you're just trying to get them to book you. So
make a lot of friends, talk to people, having your own mixes and stuff too, to give people ideas of what you can do. That's definitely the way to go.
So having your own mix is probably a big one to be like, hey, I want to DJ this mix at you guys' next night. Here's the mix, and actually sending it to them usually gets them to respond.
You could do it that way too, or even just using it as like an example of what you can do. Like, oh, I could perform something like this, like in this mix. These are some skills that I have.
Right. So I guess if I was a booker, then the way I would take a DJ seriously is I would like look at their Instagram, and I guess maybe their followers or something. It would be the biggest indicator. Their follower
that'd
count.
probably be a big part of it too.
Yeah,
especially with a lot of places. Because I mean, like bigger following, brings a crowd, brings more money,
Right.
brings more for support
sure.
for the artists and stuff like that.
Now, when you're going through and making a mix, 'cause I've always been curious about this to know, is it more so like things that you like and know will sound good put together as a mix, or is it more of like a meshing of things you've seen before that could work, or things that are more popular per se? Like how would that go for you? Without giving too much away for anybody that'll see this, so they don't take your ideas.
Honestly, I don't really care. People could have my ideas, whatever. I think that I have a weird process when I go about these things, because like I don't really ever plan anything.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of a fault of mine. Like I definitely could be doing a little more, but I'm just kind of lazy.
I get it, bro. I get it.
You know, like I go home, I like smoke after work or something. And I'm just like, I don't really want to think.
Right.
No, 'cause I
But-
feel like a lot goes into that.
Yeah, but I mean, like for mixes and stuff too. I mean, there's a couple of things you want to pay attention to. Like me, I kind of really pay attention to genre. I try to stick to like maybe 1 or 2 genres at most.
Okay.
And then definitely want to pay attention to like your key signatures, your BPMs. If I don't really care, I'll just kind of take like a good chunk of things in the same genre, align them by BPM, and kind of go from key signature.
Yeah. To know what sounds good.
Yeah.
Mixed with this or that. Yeah, that makes a
and
lot
then
of
it's
sense.
just a lot of like testing. Like you hear certain parts of tracks where you could just repeat, and even use for other tracks too.
Right.
And it's like creating your own track in between two
The
tracks.
track. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I like that.
That's interesting. So
It
let's talk about the money. If you are a DJ and let's say you're over a year, let's say you're 3 years in, let's say you're like 2 years longer than you've been DJing, what does like a 3-year, 4-year DJ typically make in a month?
On average, we're not talking about superstars that make it after 3 years.
Just like a working DJ in a city.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on probably your ability, like your skill set.
Yeah.
And then like what type of, like if you're going into like wedding DJ route versus like doing just like gigs, bars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the money is completely different.
I believe that.
Right. So like clubs and bars in like a major metro area, not like a New York or LA, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I
like
mean,
just like a place like here or Chicago or just somewhere where it may not be a huge definitely not a Miami because that's obviously going to be skewed as well. Right. But just a city that there are people in, but you know isn't the biggest, right?
Right.
What does a normal number sound like for you?
If I was doing probably just like a standard bar gig, like pre-COVID, you could get away with like $75 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post-COVID, the numbers are kind of different, but if I'm doing say like an 8 to 12 or like a 10 to 2, maybe again based on skill set, anywhere from 2 to 300.
200 to 300
Nice.
a night. They could you could do
or
it.
per hour.
Yeah, well, a night.
Oh, I was like,
A
shit.
night. Yeah.
I'm in the
Definitely
wrong
not per hour.
profession. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, shit,
Well,
bro.
because this is kind of what I'm getting at is DJing, because I noticed for the past, I want to say 6 or 7 years, like younger people have been getting more into, because I remember when DJing was almost like a antiquated thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it used to be a super niche thing.
Yeah,
It's
super
like,
niche thing that like Gen Xers did, you know?
Yeah.
But then I remember maybe sometime towards the end of college for me, I noticed that there was this sudden boom of like popularity in the actual art of DJing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always curious as to what happened to those people that I knew when I was in college who like went to different cities and started DJing, like especially in New Orleans, there was a lot of people that got into the local bar and club scene and getting into doing DJ spots there. Yeah. So like if somebody was going to be building up that type of skill, could they live off that within 3 years is my question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I think it was the year before COVID hit, I was actually full-time DJ.
You were just full time.
Yeah, I was full time.
Nice. So it isn't like very hard to become that. Basically, like that's something that most DJs that are worth their salt, They do,
as long as you're willing to put in the work.
Right. They do the grind for about 2 years, and eventually you should have enough contacts, enough bars and clubs that know you, that you've DJ'd at enough times, where you should be able to pick up, let's say, 3 gigs a week, bare minimum, making $200-$300 a night. So that's like $900 to $1,100 a week.
Yeah,
You could.
That's decent money.
Yeah,
You could. I mean, my partner for Soul Tribe, since we've known each other and since I've been working with him, he's actually got 2 residencies now.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
So,
And what is a residency? Break that down for us.
Residency is so like you're just a regular person
That
like
shows up to DJ.
Yeah, like so he gets the first Saturday of every month, and then he also gets, I guess the other one's like kind of by need, but he's still like their person.
Right,
Like he's their DJ they go to.
Right.
Yes, they contact him first, like, hey,
Right.
you're here today.
Yeah.
So a residency DJ is or a DJ that's a part of maybe a collective that has a residency for them is typically like almost like a paid regular type of position.
It's like you're a free agent in sports, or you're on a team.
Or you're on a team.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And here's what I want to know, because this is the second time I've heard you mention your group. How many people are part of your group, and all of you guys are DJs, or do people in your group play different roles? Like,
So the person I'm talking about, this DJ named Ginger Snap.
okay.
He is the other half of Soul Tribe.
Oh, so it's the 2 of you.
Yeah, so it's the
Nice.
2 of us, and then I have another collective that I run with 2 other DJs.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's dope.
Yep.
And what purpose does the idea of DJs collectivizing, what does that do for a DJ? Why would a DJ want to be in a collective?
I mean, it kind of depends person to person. Like me, I just work better when I'm with a team of people.
Yeah.
Right.
I just think I'm able to get things done and, like actually move things forward when
Yeah.
I have other people with me.
Have somebody get on your ass, like, hey, bro, you need to do this. Now.
Exactly.
Do this.
It's like, hey, like you were supposed to send that email, bro.
Yes.
Like, send
yes.
the email.
Do you guys help each other with marketing? Do you guys help each other with bookings? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That's more what I was saying, is that like typically when you're in a collective, there's probably like 1 or 2 people that are the main drivers of like whatever book, and then everyone else kind of is a part of like learning from them, right? That's kind of So yeah, no, I was just interested as to like, how does that economy work? Does it work? Like, do people find
it's super challenging because you get like people clashing with each other, and it's like people have their own way of doing things.
What's the typical roadblocks to being in the DJ scene in Detroit or in any city?
I mean, a lot of people like to gatekeep things.
Of course.
Okay.
That's kind of one of the bigger things, and it's like, I don't know. I personally just don't like to come in and try to like step on people's toes.
Yeah, never.
Right.
Like if it's your spot, like it's your spot. I'm gonna respect that.
Right. So who, like, by gatekeeping, you mean that they're gonna make it hard for you to get a gig, or they're gonna make it okay? And
that's kind of really it.
What do they typically do to try to gatekeep? Like, what are the tactics?
Oh man, that it's hard to say. It's hard to say because I don't know that I've run into as much gatekeeping as most people would. There are a lot of people that do it.
Yeah.
Really with just like connections and people.
Yeah, I figured.
I mean, I think that's kind of really it.
Probably not letting somebody know who to talk to get the gig, or who's the better person to have as a contact than the other. Yeah. I could definitely see that. I mean, that happens in so many areas of profession. It would never surprise me that it happens in the DJ scene as well.
Yeah.
Well, when it's such a scene that seems to be so dependent on who you know.
Yes.
It's a great place to try to wield power. You know?
Right.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, for you, what are your, I guess, dreams and aspirations as a DJ? Like, what do you want to do in Detroit?
I mean, it's not even that I have like the exact vision of it being in Detroit. It's just that I would like to be able to do music full time.
Yes.
Be able to produce, be able to DJ, be able to, show people a good time.
Nice.
So
Like-
long term, you're trying to be like
like
Steve Aoki level, Marshmallow, these
if
guys.
he needs a stunt double,
Right,
I mean, I could totally do it.
Let him know, bro.
Yeah,
Next time
like-
he's got a movie gig, hey, bro.
Yeah, like
Hit
I
me
could
up,
totally
bro.
be a stunt double.
Yeah, I like that.
I just might be a little taller, but
It's all right,
I
bro.
don't think anybody will complain about that.
No, on camera, you could pass that off easily, bro.
Yeah.
They can
Right.
make you seem a lot shorter.
Oh yeah.
They made Tom Cruise taller, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
A
can do
lot taller.
Yeah.
They can do whatever. So, just to rewind it even further back beyond your DJ career, where'd you grow up?
So I'm from the Detroit area, so
Yeah,
like the
what-
suburbs.
Okay.
Which
So
suburb?
I grew up in Northville, or well, my earliest memories were in Westland,
True.
and then from there I went to Northville, and then my dad still lives in Northville. My mom lives in Farmington, and I live with her and help her out.
Nice.
True.
Nice.
Nice,
I have a
nice.
couple family members out in Farmington.
Yeah, Farmington's nice.
Yeah, it is. Always.
Yeah, it's a nice spot. I do definitely want to try and move towards the city or like in
Yes.
the city though,
Yeah,
coming
yes.
soon.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So right now, what's inspiring you art wise? What movies? What TV? What anime? What video games? What music?
Yeah, what are you into, bro?
It's really just games and
That's
anime.
fine, bro.
Games and
we
anime.
talked that all day
I know
here.
that's why I was so excited when you asked me to do this. It's
Yes.
like games and anime is
Yes.
the only thing that actually like super inspires me for a lot of stuff.
Well, we got to get the interview out of the way so people
Yeah,
know
we
who
just
we're
wanted
talking
to-
first. Trust me, we
Right,
had the
right,
slot
right.
open for this.
I didn't want to just bring you on and be like, yo, let's talk about video games.
What's your
Fuck
favorite video
DJ
game,
shit.
bro?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to at least,
Well,
give you the floor for a second.
yeah,
But now,
so-
let's
no,
move on to
because
the good stuff.
especially with a lot of newer anime too, like their intros.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anime
fire.
intros.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I did a gig at Speakerbox on April 1st.
Okay.
Played the intro to Mashal.
No way.
Yep. I ended my set with that song.
True.
I had 2 people actually know it, and the rest of the people were actually just
Like,
vibing with it.
Dude, that's so
Hell
dope.
yeah.
Mashal's
And
great.
you know that intro? It's like super
Yes,
bouncy.
it's super bouncy. Yeah, hell yeah.
It's
hell
hard.
yeah.
It's hard not to dance to that.
I like Mashal. So you are a little current then. If you know a little bit about Mashal.
So it's like the short anime.
Okay.
You know, like Mashal you could finish in like an afternoon.
Yes, for sure.
Because it's not that you don't really have to pay attention.
No, you don't
like,
have to, bro, because it's just fights and flashiness really
it's,
throughout
it's
it.
the same
Little
shit.
comic relief, nothing too crazy, but no, that's it. So, I mean, since that was the first mention, let's get into it, bro. What got you into anime? I love asking guests we've had on
Yeah.
this show this question
This
because
the big
this
one.
is how we know to base the rest of the convo off this.
So Toonami.
Yes, I already
we
like
go.
where this is going.
Here we go. Let's
I
hear it.
remember when I first started seeing like clips and stuff of like Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach, like Inuyasha, and like, and it's hard to say that because I never actually was able to watch those shows as
Right.
a kid. Like I was a little sheltered from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
even from like Family Guy.
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
I was a
had
kid,
my
I was
years of-
super
yeah,
sheltered from that
yes,
stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, me too. No, I had very religious parents with us.
It
Yeah.
also depends on the episode you get caught watching. Too.
That's- yeah, that's
what it was
true.
for me.
That's true.
Because me and my brothers watched Family Guy for the longest time. My mom came in on one episode. I remember Stewie has his Kermit the Frog tied up against the bedpost, and he's got Miss Piggy on the ground, and he's trying to interrogate Kermit the
yeah,
Frog,
yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, you won't talk?" So he gets on top of Miss Piggy and starts like, "Oh, well, now he was
Yeah.
like." My mom walked in on me. I was 7. My older brother was, I think, 9 or about to be 10, and my little brother was probably like 4, 3. She came and she's like, "What the fuck are you guys watching?" She goes,
That's-
"You guys aren't watching this anymore." It was like a good
That's great.
2 to 3 year period before like we could get caught watching it again with no backlash.
That's great.
That is. But me and Adam, for the most part, anybody we've had as a guest, when we ask them that question, for the most part, Toonami is usually the answer we get.
Yep.
And we love that because
right. I
we
was
love
right.
it because let's be real, we're all in America, so
Yeah.
I would say at least 97% of kids you ask that live in America or did at that time got their starting from Toonami. But it just brought up a thought in me, like, we didn't really know what anime was at the time of our
Yeah.
intro. Like to
Yeah.
us at the time, it was another cartoon. You
Right.
know, it was like a
Yeah.
Justice League or a Batman or a Spider, whatever we were
Right.
watching at the
No,
time.
I remember learning the word
Yeah.
anime like learning what that
Yes.
distinction meant,
Yeah.
and that it was from specifically Japan. Because I thought that all of the shows were made here.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just a different style animation.
Right.
Yeah. No, I
Right.
know what you're saying.
definitely did.
Because you differentiate anime versus animation.
Right. Yeah.
all day. And I want to wring the necks of people that don't know the difference, that try
Right.
to tell me that they're the same thing. I'm like, no. There is a clear difference in this and that, like every time. But nah, man, anime, as far as if we're going to consider or people want to say it's animation, nothing else holds a light to it, bro.
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So you were watching Toonami. It was probably Saturday night after 11 a.m. or 11 p.m.
Yep.
What were your top animes that you were just like, I gotta at least see a glimpse of this? Because back then, you didn't even really necessarily believe that you were going to get to see the whole episode, because that was hard to do.
Right.
It was.
Because you couldn't pause it or anything.
Right.
If you had to walk away, if your parents walked in, you had to stop the or
Right. You had to
change
turn
the
it off
channel,
or something.
You'd miss it. That was it. It was gone. Like, so you were just happy and lucky to just see a little bit of it.
Yeah.
So what were the shows that were like that for you?
It was like, because I remember more distinctly just seeing like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, if you ask me about the story or anything today, like, honestly, I couldn't tell you.
See, I respect that, because for the longest time, that was the same thing for me, because me and Adam have talked about this multiple times.
Yeah.
We're now in an age of overindulgence in anime, right? We have things like Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix. We can go
Right.
watch what we want at any time, get the whole thing out of it, boom, you're done.
Right.
When we were kids, you had to wait for the time slot to come on. Don't forget there was commercials. And let's say you missed a week of an episode, right?
Bro, that was me for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
You're gone.
Oh my
You don't know
God.
where you're at
Yeah,
after
it's
that.
over.
And it
Yeah.
sucked, but me and Adam also discussed, like, we found so much more appreciation at that time. As much of an anime fan the two of us still are to this day,
Yeah.
we understood having that restriction on what you would watch and when you would watch kind of made us appreciate it a little bit more at that time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
loved it.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it's like Naruto too. Like, because when Naruto first came out, I thought it was really cool, and then I backed off of it for a while, and then I came back, rewatched the whole thing, and like you could actually understand and like appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He wouldn't, but yeah.
I mean, I hate
It's a Naruto hater right here.
I mean, like, it's honestly,
I get it.
it is hard for a lot of people to watch Naruto now with a lot of the anime that we have.
Yes.
And like, I can understand that. Like, you just like, there's that one website you go on there, it'll like filter Naruto through for you, all story,
Yeah.
no filler.
No filler.
yeah.
Like,
Which would
just
be
do
great
that.
for you.
I think
just
I'm
do
gonna,
that.
I think I'm gonna do that. I didn't know there was a website that did that.
And you have to watch it with
do
the
I-
thought in mind that, hey, this came out at a certain time period.
Yeah,
That's true, and that's the thing. That's the main reason why I never went back to watch Naruto, is because I feel like it's one of those shows where my time to have been able to appreciate it has kind of passed.
Yes, 100%.
Like if I had watched
Yeah.
it and I really sat there and paid attention when I was 14, it would probably been my favorite show.
a lot, like I
Yeah.
said, a lot of it's
Yeah.
nostalgia driven, anyways. Like, don't get me
Of
wrong, I
course.
have my favorites that'll always stay where they are, but there's a lot of things that have come out within, I don't know, I would say like the last 10 years that I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So some things are getting knocked off the list now.
Yeah,
They're nowhere
yeah.
near as long.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I get it though. Trust me, man. So what would have been? I guess I can just come right out and ask, what would have been like your number one back then? Because we all have that too. Like your number one, like from your youth years.
back then.
Yes.
Because I remember watching like some of the early Dragon Ball as a kid, but I could just never really get into it because I was so young.
Yeah, that was the kind of thing that we felt as though got us truly into anime.
Yeah.
In the Western world, that's what it was Dragon Ball. That was the
Right.
reason why everything else that came and was successful was able to do that, was
Right.
strictly because of Dragon Ball.
Well, Dragon Ball created the audience.
Yes.
Like, Dragon
Right.
Ball created people who had Dragon Ball created the demand, right, for anime. Like, if there had never
Yeah.
been a show as successful as Dragon Ball, there wouldn't have been millions of kids wanting to see a show like Naruto next.
No, 100%. And the difference from anime, like, again, going back to those times of us being kids and only having so much of an understanding, the thing that really, not really factually sets anime apart from, like I said, like a Justice League or a Batman or whatever the equivalent of an American cartoon would be, is the power system. Power systems
Oh,
are
yeah.
the one thing that anime has that nothing else that's
Yeah.
considered animated have. Like, there is no system of chakra
Right.
in a Justice League. Like, Superman has his powers, Martian Manhunter just has his, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, it's very different and I guess diverse in a way, but that was the one thing that I feel like if most people had to pick one key element of anime to back up as their argument, would be power systems. You know what I mean?
The power scaling is just outrageous.
It is, bro. And a lot of the themes. There's a lot of themes you'll catch in an anime that you won't catch in a cartoon.
Yeah. I think animes are more, even though there's definitely animes that are meant for kids, animes that are meant for adults. Like, it's not like it's all meant for adults. Even the ones that are meant for kids, unless it's really meant to be silly and unless it's really meant to be like very childish. Even the regular childish ones are about life in a way that most American cartoons are not about life. Like, most American cartoons take the ethos of escapism of like, we are going to show you as much as we can of a fantasy or the best case scenario. Whereas I feel like more animes than non-animes take the approach of, we're gonna just show you life.
It's gonna be very relatable as opposed to the opposite. So no, you're right, bro. Now that I'm thinking about that, even like you said, even the like super kiddie ones, I feel like there's nowhere near the amount of, like, if you would deem it this, a kiddie anime as there was. Like, almost all cartoons were like that. But you have the exception of like Avatar, like a couple of the different Batman series as we were getting a little older, maybe some Justice League, but like a lot of anime, again, we talked about this, like, at our time of watching it as a youth, we didn't know what the fuck was going on in half of these or had the full understanding, whereas the cartoons, we did. It was given off in that way, I guess you could say.
I felt like, I think the best example is if like, for example, like if Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was an anime, you would have seen at least one scene where there was like a drunk adult, right? Or there was something inappropriate, right? Something, but not to glorify it or to examine it, but to represent it as like, this is something kids have to deal with.
It's just a normal part of life.
It's a normal part of life. Whereas I feel like most American shows will sanitize the negative aspects of reality. Right?
Well, it's funny you say that too, because there was like a TikTok series that I've been watching where dude goes over censorship from the Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh cards versus the American Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Really?
Big time. I've seen that.
What are they censored?
They censor like crazy stuff.
There's like stuff like that that was allowed in Japanese culture that wasn't allowed to be seen here. Like, some of the cards would show like maybe a little bit of cleavage or like some over sexualized
they would like
depiction of something.
Add clothing, like they would turn hands, like it's just some weird stuff that you would see as like, wow, that's not really a big deal, but I guess to some people it is.
Well, imagine like the manga to anime effect, right? A lot of manga can tend to be way more graphic, and then when it gets animated, it's like, oh, okay, we're not going to put that, we're going to leave that out, because again, although a lot of them aren't, they know that the audience that will be targeted is mainly going to be the youth.
Right. And
so they got to like sugarcoat it a little bit.
I think it's crazy the kind of stuff that manga used to be able to get away with in terms of content and like sexual content. Oh my God. I remember walking into a like Borders or Barnes and Noble when I was maybe 11 or 12. And going to where the magazines for anime, not manga, magazines were. Do you remember New Type magazine?
No,
New Type magazine was an anime magazine, and it was almost like if My Anime List had its own magazine. That's what New Type is. It was like nerd heavy, obscure anime heavy.
That sounds terrible even today. That description sounds
something
terrible.
Yo, people like, if you were a real anime fan, because everybody read Shonen Jump.
That's what I was gonna say. We had that was very frequent here.
Shonen Jump was for like, you were a scrub. You were a noob. Sorry, you were a noob. If you were a real anime head, you had New Type.
Wow. I'm surprised I never heard of this. I'm not surprised though. It could have been. That was when you were in Maryland.
This had to have been right when I left Michigan.
Okay.
So the very beginning of when I was in Maryland.
Oh, okay. Then that makes a lot of sense. It could have just been area specific. But
no. New Type is a Japanese.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. New Type is the big one for like real otakus.
Yes.
Gen X otakus.
Yeah.
So like people who've always been in that shit.
Yeah.
But their covers always used to be like the most revealing, like provocative animations of female anime characters
Oh.
that I literally would feel guilty when I was 11 because I grew up really religious.
Yeah.
Having looked at
Yeah,
one.
just the glance.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I shouldn't have done that. Going to hell. Going to hell.
Exactly. Not picking it up, not flipping through it. Just like having my eyes having looked across the magazine. I was like in my head, I'd be like, you know why you looked over.
Yeah.
Me. You don't need to see
The devil's taking me over.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants me to look at this.
Oh my God. But yeah.
I have a question I love to ask. Since you were a fan of anime when you were, which side are you on when it comes to the old gen style of animation to the new gen? So we're talking like to give you some examples, like animation style of like a Yu Yu Hakusho, an Inuyasha, an Evangelion if you've seen it.
I haven't seen that one, but it's kind of like early 90s, 2000s.
Yes,
style
yeah,
animation.
like, yeah, exactly. Like 90s into like maybe the mid 2000s, I would give it compared to like 2014, 2015 onward.
Yeah.
Because it has changed tremendously.
Yeah, especially if you look at One Piece. The animation style and that.
Now,
like, look at episode 1 versus the one that just got
crazy because
released.
none of the new shows do that now. Like all the shows now that start episode 1, like for the most part, I know it's like the attention grabber, but episode 1 onward, it either stays consistent or it exceeds where it started at for the most part. Yes,
that would be one of those.
Exactly. But your personal preference is what I'm asking.
I think it kind of depends on what the anime is about, honestly. Because especially, so have you guys seen Monster?
Yeah. We got Allie's got it.
It's right there.
In there on DVD,
that's okay. I would include that.
Yeah, like I think for the premise of that anime, I think that animation style fits really well.
It does.
Right. Yes.
It's like gritty.
Good point.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Good point. Yes.
Exactly. Like for what it's about.
Yeah.
And for what you're actually seeing.
Right.
It works really well.
Yeah, 100%. Like
and then if you guys have seen Magnetic Rose,
I've heard of that.
I would highly suggest you guys go watch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually a short film.
Okay.
In a collection of like 3 or 4 short films.
Nice.
They're all great.
Okay.
But Magnetic Rose is we actually kind of based my other collective, Magnetic Rose, off of that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting this, and I like
cool.
that.
This is cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So, and that kind of brought. I thought about something when you were talking about like certain things match the content. Certain types of animation match the content. Like the old Evangelion is the best way you should see Evangelion, even though they have a. You notice I never talk about the movies.
Right.
Rebuild. It's not because they're necessarily that bad. Like they're good, and they're definitely a good excuse to reanimate some of the best scenes in the show.
Yeah,
that's great, but it completely takes the magic out of it. You watch that anime, and it's like I was like, why am I not like in love with this? Like I was with Evangelion, and it's really this sounds like I'm about to make up what I'm saying. It sounds like I'm trying to say something to sound smart, but I'm genuinely. It's the shadows, like the blacks.
Yeah.
There's something about a hand-drawn black, like color black.
I can understand what you're saying.
That's like deeper,
you
know? And I don't know why they can't recreate that still. Or like the lines, like the lines of color and drawing. I don't know why. And that old Evangelion is just so much more richer and deeper than the new one.
I think it's the time slot. Because let's not forget, as a kid, again, going back to this era of what we're speaking about, we were getting all these shows like 6-7 years after they had already been out.
Right.
So who knows the actual time it took them to get it all out and finish it and do what they were doing. So they had it, but they kind of had to do it in the time process that they did. Whereas now everything's on a computer.
Right.
They can just get the rough sketches and then boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Everything else is done. But I agree with that because, again, another conversation me and him have had so many times was, although a lot of it today looks like more clear, more crisp, that attention to detail back in the day was just it's still to this day is unmatched. Like the way that you'll see a character's hair of today, like free flowing or like blowing in the wind, it looks good. Right. And I'm not taking nothing against nothing away from the new gen, but if you go back and watch like Studio Ghibli film.
Oh yeah,
Like he said in
100%.
Evangelion, and you watch it, it almost like that's like the closest you'll get with animation to realism.
Yo, let me just show you, because I was, me and Dom, like Dom said, we have this conversation all the time. We're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Oh, I know what he's about to show you.
Anime's this, anime's that, not anymore.
I'll be right back.
I was getting tired of that conversation. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? We're probably just getting older. Anime now probably looks beautiful. We just can't recognize it because we're old, whatever. And then I saw this, and I was like, no, it was better. Watch this. This is 30 seconds, and it's better than 90% of all new anime.
Okay.
Like, just look at the detail.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, like newer anime styles, like everything's glossy, everything looks really nice, but like you're not. This is a little more like I would say probably raw.
yeah, raw and immersive and emotional. There was an emotion that you could convey in
like
those
that,
old animes.
Yeah, the animation and especially like the colors that they used and how they drew it. Like there was like there was a mood for it.
A mood and a mystique.
Yeah, like it really drew you in.
Yeah, and
like you were a part of it.
You were a part of it. It was it was convincing.
Right.
You could see it, and it didn't feel like it was a product. It felt like it was a world. It felt like it was depicting something that demanded your attention.
Dude, Grave of the Fireflies. I was bawling my eyes out.
Wait, what show?
Grave of the Fireflies. The Studio Ghibli. Oh my God, bro. You gotta watch.
Okay.
You gotta watch. Studio Ghibli's Grave of the Fireflies.
I'll check that out. But no, like there's tons of Studio Ghibli movies that kind of reflect this point where they are just rich with this emotion, this like beauty that I feel like new animes, and you can tell when they're trying to do it. You can tell when they're attempting to capture that, and they are not doing it right. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't do it effortlessly like it seemed like it used to.
Right.
And I know like people think that we parse hairs about this.
No,
that's
why
it's
just the truth, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, and I feel like there's probably other people that are like, oh well, why are you making a podcast about anime if you don't like new anime? It's not that I don't like new anime.
Yeah.
It's just that there's something about the old anime that I had recognized when I'd first gotten into anime, and that was the first type of anime that I had been exposed to, that I feel like defined the genre for me.
100%.
That I'm always trying to get back.
He hasn't seen Grave of the Fireflies.
Never seen.
I haven't either. I know about it, though. I know about it.
Oh my God.
From what I've read online, that is one of the saddest anime you could ever watch.
That's why I don't watch too many Studio Ghibli movies, I'm going to be honest, because I don't really like watching super sad anime.
I'm with you on that, but Studio Ghibli, like, I understand they are a studio for movies and anime, but man, like,
again,
really
but
you still can't you can't get past how they animate their movie. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's an actual art to it.
Yes.
But like, okay, so Grave of the Fireflies, like, it was a movie that I kind of found late. Like, I saw it in college for the first time. It was really funny. I was taking this anthropology class.
Oh, it all correlated. Yeah.
We watched Grave of the Fireflies in the classroom.
Oh wow.
That was my first experience watching it. Just imagine like 20 people, complete strangers, all bawling your eyes out to the same movie.
You felt it. Yeah, man.
Like,
that's
it
all
was
I
just
see.
it's so weird.
It is, man, because you can't say that about a lot of other titles that could have a whole room full of people doing that. Like, a lot of things are sad, sure.
Yeah. No, like, you guys really should watch it, especially like if you do like history too.
Okay.
Oh damn.
Like, it doesn't really give too much away, but it's like World War II from the perspective of Japanese people.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Of like these two kids.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Just wandering about.
Yeah.
Going through their little adventure. No, 100%. No, I gotta check that out, man. I've seen it a lot. Like, I don't like to strictly take other people's opinions and go off of their criticism to, make me go watch something. But there has been a lot of things that I've done that with that almost every time has gotten a very good review from me. Like, I'll almost always agree with what I see them say and how they say it, if that makes sense. Like, if they're just like, oh, it's the greatest ever, go watch it, I'm gonna be like, all right, bro.
Right.
You're just one of those fans. No, when I see people like typing their fucking hearts out, like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever seen. You don't understand, this happens, I'm like, damn. if it's getting this reaction out of you, why wouldn't it get it out of me?
Right.
For the most part.
Like
you
there's
know?
a couple different reactions. Like you get the reactions for Ninja Kamui, where it's like everyone's thinking it's cool as fuck,
Ninja
but
Kamui's
nobody
crazy.
knows what it's about.
No. That sidetrack. That's one of the greatest first episodes of an anime I've seen was Ninja Kamui.
That was a sick first
It is
episode.
ridiculous, dude. Talking about attention to detail, especially of a newer gen,
That was pretty cool.
you should check that. At least
I'm
check
gonna
out the
watch
first
tonight.
episode,
I'm gonna
bro.
watch
It's
tonight.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like no matter what, like you said, no matter what the fuck the plot's about,
Right.
You're just
Yeah.
like you
It's
don't even
cool.
care.
Like,
you don't even care if they're just
you gotta see what's happening.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like you don't have to know why it's happening. Just you seeing it, you'll be like, oh wow, I like this. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I like this violence.
Yeah.
Like what I'm seeing on here.
Hell yeah. So Noah, what about games? What about video games? What are you into?
So I play Smash Bros pretty consistently.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
You should have said that. You
should've
should have
said
said
that.
that.
Okay, I need your Discord so you can join our Discord.
Oh, bet.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
a Discord.
bet.
We just run Smash like every night.
Yeah, I'm not like super good, but
No, that's fine. Like we have people who
He's
are not
capping.
good.
He's
Like we have
capping.
people who play in tournaments.
Okay.
Like it's fun. Like
Speaking
it's very
of which,
competitive.
plug time. And me and my little brother and
Yeah.
one other person who shall not be named. We recently started doing these tournaments at this local brewery. So I live in Warren.
Oh shit!
There's a brewery over there. It's called Coonan's. Great place. We love you, Coonan's.
Oh, I think I know where it's at.
13 a mound.
Yeah,
It's like kind of ducked off. You wouldn't think that's what it is, but it is that.
I know what you're talking about. I used to live at I lived with my girlfriend at the time at 9.5 and Van Dyke.
Oh, okay, yeah. I live at 11 in Van Dyke. Perfect. So
Oh,
you already,
shit. Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
know the
Yeah.
area. Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So as of late, we've been hosting tournaments there, and we've gotten the best reaction from the Smash Bros tournaments.
Yeah,
We're having another one April 27th.
Send me
It's a
the details.
Saturday. I will.
Yeah.
Because I would love for you to show up, come have a good time. We
yeah.
had
My
a
brother will come too. It would be
good,
hilarious.
bring whoever. We had an amazing tournament. We had almost like 60 people there this day.
Really,
It was nuts,
hell
dude. We
yeah.
had the place jumping. Not all playing Smash, but
Right.
in our crowd of attendance. But yeah, Adam over here just he said to me time and time again that Smash is not a real fighting game,
Oh,
and I can't
I
agree
didn't
with
say
that.
that. I said
He
that's
did.
I said
That's
it's-
false.
I mean, I've heard that a lot.
I have, but that's just those people that either can't get into it or don't get into it.
Well,
I just said that there's better games to test skill between two men. That's what I was saying.
Oh yeah, but he's thinking it's a test of skill thing, and it's more of a just having fun thing. To me. We're not kids. We're not guys at Evo, defending our titles and
I don't
winning
know.
money.
because Smash is like the only game for me where I could break a controller. This is the only game where I've ever been like that
Oh,
close
no.
to actually just like smashing a controller
In your
on
later
the ground.
years or overall?
Overall,
Oh no way, bro! I got a list of games I could put on there.
no other game does
Call
that
of
to
Duty
me.
being the front runner.
Nah, Call of Duty. I think me dying is hilarious.
Oh, dude, I can't get with that. I don't know why. I love that. I wish I could get to that. I wish I could because I'm just like so much shit doesn't make sense. But
I think it's just that I acknowledge that I know, like I'm really bad. Like I know I'm bad.
Oh yeah, even
Then
if
it's
you're
fun.
bad, it's
Then it's fun.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you know you're bad. Like that was honestly
Yeah.
how I began to start to get somewhat good at COD. Was I used to hate how bad I was at it, and I would never play it.
Yeah.
Then I went through like a month process of just accepting that I was bad, and
Yeah.
joining lobbies, and just learning by getting killed constantly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
eventually you just start to get good.
Well, that's the best way.
exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
Don't take this any type of way, either of you. That's
Yeah.
the best way to be bad.
That is, yeah.
A lot of people are bad and stay bad,
yeah.
but if you can
Yeah.
learn from what you're doing and at least level up some, I mean,
Yep.
you can't really call yourself bad anymore.
Yeah, no,
but
you can't, yeah.
not to get too sidetracked. So you named Smash Bros.
Yeah.
as what you game. What else? There's no way that's it.
One of my, okay, so I do Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I love Yu-Gi-Oh!
Dude.
Pokemon, of course.
Your best friend.
I love this. I love this. Yeah, you might have just become my best
Dude,
friend.
like I love Yu-Gi. Like, what's your deck right now?
So we haven't played in a minute, but COVID brought it back out of us, and my most current deck is the something Albaz deck. It
Fallen
has
Albaz. Okay.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Thank you. See, like, look, all my friends. You have to understand how I got to this level of this, though, right? So, like I said, COVID hit, and me and my group of friends, we weren't like hanging out with anybody else. Like, we were already around each other right around COVID, so we stayed hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up the idea, is like, hey, bro, we have a chest full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Let's break them out and I'll start playing. So I'm like, cool. Yeah. I have some from 15 years ago still just in this little box I had. So long story short, we all get together, we play. The other members of my group of friends were getting together a little more often than I was, just due to work and whatnot. Then when I come back, all these guys went to like Walmart, Meijer, bought these new decks, and I'm over here with fucking first generation cards playing. I'm getting waxed. Like, you know what I mean? I can't do shit. So I'm like, dude, you know, I'm gonna set my deck up. So I went and first bought the dinosaur deck with Ultimate Tyranno.
Yeah, I had that one. That was great.
Waxing these guys. They were getting so mad. They were like, oh, fuck you. That's the most OP card here. Yada, yada. You shouldn't feel good about your wins, all this. So I'm like, dude, I'm just going to keep this.
Yep.
Continued playing these same process. They go out, all get new decks. My one boy literally looked up a tournament deck and bought the deck piece by piece off of Amazon. So I'm
so funny.
That is so expensive.
What are you doing? It's not like a high ranking deck, but it was. He bought like the base cards and then added whatever little pieces over time. But then again, like I said, I started noticing, I'm like, dude, I'm just getting waxed in these, like tremendously. Like, I can't even put up a fight, right?
That's the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's hard for people to enter the game.
It is, because as new decks and new cards drop, it's like, you can, of course, still win with certain decks that would be considered predated, but it's like, dude, the level of skill difference changes. So then I was like, dude, fuck this. I'm about to just come here and willingly lose all the time. So I'm like, this is my last time I'm going to go do this. So I went and got the Albaz deck.
Yeah.
Boy, did I see the fucking power.
Yeah, fuck you.
That is the... All my friends were mad. When I say mad, they were like, dude, this is what you have to do to win against us. I'm like, well, what the fuck did you guys do? You know what I mean? And they were like, dude, you have the most OP card I've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's so easy to get out. So many ways to get it out. And I was like, yeah, I'm not losing. Like, this, you guys aren't beating me. Not at all.
I would do the same shit.
No, it had to happen, bro. I couldn't take those losses on the chin no more. Like, dude, you guys are talking shit after I'm losing and shit.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm gonna give you guys a reason to never talk no more shit to me again.
Yep. Shit. I mean, other than those, I think so I'm really late to this too. I still have to finish Ghost of Tsushima.
We're not PlayStation owners. I wish I was. That's one of the main
amazing game.
Like
amazing. You know, talk about beautiful. Like,
you know how much I talk about Sekiro?
Yeah, it's like a Sekiro.
Oh, that's a great game too.
I love Sekiro.
Yeah, those are fun.
That's my second favorite Souls game. It's basically like and I don't want to. I could be wrong because I've never played the game. It's first, I think there's a difficulty setting on Ghost of Tsushima.
There is, yeah.
Sekiro, there is not.
Oh, there's no difficulty.
No, you are locked into... From software saying, no, this game is maximum difficulty. If you want to play it, you have to deal with this.
Yeah,
literally.
Ghost of Tsushima, you have... because it's very story-driven.
Yes. It's great story, by the way.
It's really about the story and like the art and everything in it.
Right.
So there's like a setting where you can actually play the game in black and white.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Makes the game so cool.
That is amazing. Probably makes you feel like you're playing through a fucking movie at that point.
Yes.
That is amazing.
So cool. Like, this is a game where I do not skip cutscenes in this game.
I wouldn't either. I believe it. Damn. But like, Sekiro is like, it's not open world.
Right.
Ghost of Tsushima is, and you literally you're playing through like the life of a samurai.
Right. Wait. This is like the samurai simulator game, right? Where they like try to make it super realistic to be.
In a way, yeah.
And it is, bro. It really like it's not too over the top. Of course, it's still a video game, right? So you have your moments, but like Sekiro, you know, you can jump off a fucking like 30-foot ledge and just stab someone right through their heart, they're dead. This game, you can do similar things, but it's not to that exaggeration.
Right.
And it just, dude, I'm telling you, if there's ever been a game you've seen that made you want to get a PlayStation,
it would be
9 times out of 10. That's the one.
Wow.
It's got to be Ghost of Tsushima. That game, it's got its own like picture setting and everything. You can there's like certain spots designated in the game where you can stop and take pictures of just the game.
Whoa.
Like, that's how beautiful it is.
We gotta look at some gameplay after the podcast.
We do. I'm telling you, you'll be sold on it. Like, you know, I was never one that wasn't a PlayStation fan, but being an Xbox fan brings this rage out of you when you're online or you're talking to people who are PlayStation fans. Here's the reality of it, right?
Get the best exclusives.
Right. And I understand. Now, exclusive wise and studio wise, yes, PlayStation has Xbox beat by a landslide. But the argument we always come across is just people just say Xbox sucks. I'm like, dude, take the exclusive out of it. It's the same system.
Yeah, and
as far as specs go,
I've had both systems and I've played on both. Like I had the 360, I had the Xbox One, the very first Xbox.
Yes.
Sorry when I was a kid. And then
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the first edition of the Xbox One. I was like, sorry.
No. I had the original Xbox as a kid, and that was the coolest shit ever.
Absolutely, bro.
And then
Xbox,
I didn't get back into Xbox until after having a PS3 for the longest time with a 360.
Yeah, I love the 360.
And then
probably best console I ever had was the 360. Probably.
It was a great console. Loved it. And then I went to PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really have to buy an Xbox or anything because my roommate had an Xbox.
Oh, I got you for sure.
So I would play Xbox with him, and then I would have my PlayStation.
Hell yeah! No, I like that because my main reason for getting a PlayStation would be, like I said, exclusives, because there's so many. Like you can't even deny the fact, bro. There's so many good games that they have as exclusives that just blows Xbox out of the water.
Yep.
Definitely does. But we're actually at our hour, guys.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So here's typically what we do at the end of the show. We usually want to get you to sign a contract as a waiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it basically just it's basically promising your soul to we don't like to say the actual name on a recorded podcast.
Yeah.
But he's dealing with a lot of stuff right now, so Dom is probably going to have to send it over to his attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
He probably won't even get a chance to look at it until maybe the end of the month, but
that's fine.
Right now he's just got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a big raid on his house recently.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. Yeah, I get it.
And the end of the month time comes around, you wake up one day, you don't feel like Noah anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that, bro.
Yeah.
That'll pass.
Yeah, you just shake that off.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
No, I get it. Yeah.
We got to handle some